funny how I think some companies don't take the time, right, to actually do some of this experience or observations. They're just like, let's just go.
I think there's a misunderstanding about the value of it. I think some companies think that investing in in-depth insight is too costly, takes too long.
Yeah.
And, the thing is, and sometimes these can. I mean, doing in-depth qualitative research does take time. It does take money. But the difference here is that it helps to create a foundation of knowledge. It is not, we talk about behavioral data. I hear people say all the time, we need new insights, we need fresh insights, we need new insights. And what I say to them is what you need is fresh data, fresh in new behavioral data, because that changes rapidly. And so we constantly need new behavioral data. When it comes to psychology, when you do the in-depth work, those insights are practically timeless. And the in-depth understanding of someone, what drives their behavior, their motivations and aspirations, that doesn't change rapidly over time. We can talk about shopping and why does someone go to the grocery store? Most someone goes to the grocery store so they can stock up on the things they need. They can be prepared. They can feel secure for themselves and their family that they have what they need, right? We can go back to ancient Roman and Greece time and say, well, why did people go to the market? Same thing, same motivations there, right? It was still about making sure I have what I need, my family has what we need to be prepared, to feel secure, to feel like we can go into the future successfully. And so, when you go deep like that, those insights that you're able to hone are much longer lasting and can fuel many, many initiatives from a marketing standpoint versus a few data points on behavior that are going to be changed, in a year, they're going to be different, right? And so, I think an example that I love is a company that I'm doing a little reverse engineering here. I wasn't privy to the insight, but from the campaign, I can see that, the insight was an in-depth one about identity and how important identity is to people, seeing themselves reflected in the world, talking about themselves is something that we all feel compelled to, right? Mm-hmm. That's not a new insight. That is ages old. That's probably centuries old. But the certain company used that insight to create one of the most successful campaigns in marketing history. And that was Coca-Cola when they started putting names on the cans in the Share a Coke campaign. Yeah, it is all about identity and how important identity is to it, how fun it is to look for your name. And there's other things in there too, like when we touch something, we touch a product, we feel ownership. And so we're more likely to purchase. Well, what do you do when you're looking for your name? You're touching all the bottles, looking, and that kind of insight as well. Those in-depth insights, they can be valid for decades, for centuries. And so when you're investing in those kinds of insights, they're not one and done if you use them properly. Mm-hmm. They can fuel many, many, many successful initiatives. And so the ROI on an in-depth insight is, it can be infinite. It can be ongoing for a very long time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the Coke one. Yeah, they'll never have my name on it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a little hard sometimes. There's some of those names, but they get creative towards the end of that campaign.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Mind the Innovation Podcast. New episodes are dropping bi-weekly, so make sure you're following wherever you get your podcast. You can find me on LinkedIn, search for Sanna Winding. You can also find me on YouTube, search for Mind the Innovation, or go to my website, sannawinding.com or mindtheinnovation.com. Stay curious, keep learning.